the City of Sterling Heights decided in early 2017 to embark on a refresh of the site to take a more focused approach on prioritizing website layout and design to meet our ever-changing needs. I would also like to note that this came at zero cost to the city, as the refresh option was written into our initial contract. To begin the process, we did a deep dive into municipal website best practices and leaders in the industry. Just last week, Business Wire released an article with statistics revealing more than half of citizens in 2017 turned to government websites for information above calling the city, visiting City Hall, calling 311, or even using a mobile app. Websites are still king in the area of public information and serve as a legitimate and trusted, verified source of information for residents. This supported our decision to go through a refresh. Here is an image of our old website homepage as of last week. As you can see, the global navigation at the top, a large banner image, and 7 graphic buttons in green square shapes below. The resolution on our page is very large, requiring resident hoping to find the latest news and information to scroll down. We had 2 news modules, latest news and featured stories. Latest news was our press releases, and featured stories was items of note to stay on the homepage along with an image. So our old site was working, but we knew we could do better. We started by setting goals. We wanted to make data-driven decisions related to our layout, delete and condense department pages that were redundant, reduce scrolling required, and reduce white space, offer more clickable images, and think more like a resident. Ultimately, thinking more like a resident meant thinking less compartmentalized in departments. For example, we think in city development or public works, and more like a resident. As in, how do I find what my trash day is? Where do I click to pay my bill? How can I find my property tax information? We also talked to Civic Plus about functionality best practices. They let us know a resident should really only have to go 2 or 3 clicks to find what they're looking for. Remember, our design is based on function. Our old site averaged about 3.4 clicks, so we were on track, but we knew we could do better. The average site time visit should be between 2 and 5 minutes, meaning the resident finds what he or she needs and moves on happy with customer service. Ours was about 427, so we knew we needed to get that number down. We also found out through Civic Plus about 38% of our visits were from mobile phones, and Civic Plus told us they only expected that number to grow. So we needed to build a more responsive site. To build a new site, we largely relied on our analytics to drive our decisions, as was set in our goals. Civic Plus offers an analytics service that let us see, in our first 2 years from 2015 to 2017, that we had nearly 1.6 million unique visits with 4.1 million page views. In looking at device type, we can see a majority of our visits are coming from desktops, followed by smartphones and then tablets. So we knew desktop view was top priority, but again, mobile phone visits are creeping up in our statistics. We were also able to see what browsers were most frequently used. In our case, Google Chrome, Apple Safari, and Internet Explorer. So we use this information to view our site on all platforms to ensure uniformity. Another thing we looked at was the range of May 2015 to November 2017 to view our highest days of visits over time. If you look at the graph in front of you, you'll see tall spikes and medium spikes. The tall spikes represent 3 weekends of Sterling Fest, and the medium spikes represent election days. So we were able to see our website traffic picks up immensely around Sterling Fest and on election days, 2 important information gathering days for residents and people all around Metro Detroit. A few other random spikes were due to police or fire issues when residents were looking for more information at the time. The most important data of all we were looking at was our top hit pages over the 2 years. In front of you, you'll see that the library, Sterling Fest, Parks and Recreation, paying bills, property tax information, district court, water and sewer billing, and applying for a job topped out our page views. Again, these are items of function. We took feedback from our customer service staff at City Hall, Public Works, and other buildings on qualitative information about what we knew should be front and center, as in what did they receive the most phone calls about. Trash and recycling topped out that list, and it was also here seen on our top pages, so we knew we had to move that more front and center. So now to take a look at our new site, which launched officially on Monday. Here is an image of the homepage. In this presentation, I'm working with static images, but you'll get the idea as we move through. First, you'll notice the color and thematic design remains about the same. The city's branding guidelines dictate our aesthetics, but we feel this is the best possible clean look we could get. The banner image, which is this large Recreating Recreation banner you see, is now clickable so that the resident can view the image and if they're interested, click through. It is also smaller in size, and as you can see, when the resident opens the home page, they are not overwhelmed by the banner image, but rather have a variety of options. This is helpful not only for us to share pertinent or timely information, but in times of emergency, this clickable banner will now share snow emergency, road closure information, all with just one click. Below the banner is our first set of graphic buttons: trash and recycling, make a payment, apply for a job, or submit a request. Again, based on data, these were items we knew residents are coming to our webpage for. Submit a request takes the resident directly to Sterling Fix-It, our SeeClickFix app on our desktop. The next row of graphic buttons below is our major departments we know residents are looking for: library, parks and rec, and the court. Whether they're signing up for a class or looking for directions to the court, it's all right on the initial landing page. Here is another example of a clickable banner. This banner features the Cone Zone, which has all the latest construction updates for residents. The banners scroll every 6 seconds or so without the resident taking action, or you can hover over the image to click through and manually toggle through the options. Scrolling down on our site, we've condensed the homepage to just what you're seeing here. We have featured stories on the left, which will feature what we call sticky stories that need to stay front and center, as well as important seasonal information. To the right of that is our news and calendar modules, which the resident can choose which is on the front, and that shares our press releases and city events. As part of our package with Civic Plus, we also have 4 unique department header packages that give us unique designs for our biggest website presences. So I'll walk you through them, but you can see here, for example, on the library site, not only is the global navigation, meaning the top bar where it starts with About Us, using my card, etc. Those buttons are unique to each department page, as well as the buttons below, 2 rows. So we worked with each of the representatives from the departments, the department director, and then whoever oversees the website for them, to find out what they felt were the most important buttons to have on the front. Here's an example of our Parks and Recreation page, which now features registration, sports clubs, parks, and then each of the Senior Center, Nature Center, and Adaptive Recreation right on the home page. We also have a landing page for economic development, which I know will be great for us to share the economic development successes in Sterling Heights, as well as be available for Luke to use when he is out recruiting new businesses to Sterling Heights. It provides resources such as our blogs and videos, data we've collected, information on velocity, and more. And lastly is our Sterling Fest page, which for 10 months out of the year is low clicks, but then all of a sudden when summer hits, it's our highest click page of all. So now we have easy information about parking and directions, vendor applications, concert series, and more. For our interior pages, at the top, again, this is back on the home page, at what we call the global navigation, and I know website jargon is not fun, but that's what they call it. Right there at the top on government, when you open the navigation, we've pared down what is available, and then right there on the left, or the right, I'm sorry, where it says agendas and minutes, that's our mini global spotlight, where we can feature different stories and images. So if there is something seasonal that needs to be brought to people's attention, we can change out that item. Here's another example of that with tax bill information. And then a look at an interior page. Again, this is very similar to our previous website, but Andrea Mantakunas in Community Relations sat down with each department to help them clean up, condense, and remove redundant pages. Another example through police. And just to show you that our buttons there follow you, as well as the footer, just to make sure everybody has the information as they move along. In summary, I'm proud of the city for taking a proactive step to make our city website a very important piece of our public information and our image a top priority. This is the front face of the city to residents, community members, businesses, the media, and potential new residents. So it's crucial we are functional, clean, and leading the industry in our design. I think our latest website refresh is a vast improvement for us, and now we have our best face forward. Thank you, Mayor, and that concludes my report.